Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So doing this live outside because it's running out of days to do it out live. Or do the lives outside because it's getting much too cold. Right now it's tolerable. Let's see. Trigger warning, welcome. I've been waiting for my man all afternoon. I appreciate that, my friend. Should have joined Tom's Army. I'm going to keep getting hints, and one day, I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, one day if you ever do join, I'll be glad to have you on board, but there's plenty of information without joining Tom's Army. I put all my content out here. I just do sometimes members-only stuff that might be some extracurricular activities when it comes to things outside of spot and such. Rob, Hulklick, and Mosey here. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Appreciate both of you so very much. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for well over a year with the I Told You So badge. We got Sir Smokes a Lot, Crazy Paul, and Jorge, all three of you in your first month in Tom's Army with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. How awesome is that to see? That is so incredibly awesome, and that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Mark Caston, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. XRP King, good evening. Hello to you, good friend. We've seen some big volatility today out of XRP and crypto as a whole. XRP, we'll go over the chart here in just a second as I say hi to everybody as they come on in. 777 DW Brown, welcome in everybody. Watch John Deaton tonight. Debate Elizabeth 1. Yes, good info there. That should be an interesting debate. I don't even know what time it's on, to be honest. But that should be an interesting debate. I'm expecting a bounce from XRP after tonight. He's going to wipe the floor with her. What is the message about? So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's definitely something to watch tonight. Chris Mess says, what is that message about? Why give up? I don't know what you're talking about. You must be talking to somebody else. But with XRP here this evening, we see we're down about 1.68%. But that doesn't tell the story of the day. We've had some extreme volatility today. And it does look like we could have potentially created a W reversal here. Now, it could be invalidated if it comes below that 53.13 level, if I'm being honest. So, if this gets invalidated at 50, we'll call it 53.10, it could ruin this short-term thesis. But right now, we did fill in the first gap area, but we know we can come all the way up to over 57 cents. You sent out oh yeah, see, you got to join Tom's Army, my friend. You got to join Tom's Army. There's so much you just don't know about the copy trading in the general public. We just had a lot of bad experience. Yes, I gave it up as far as the general goes, but if you want to be a part of it, if you're in Tom's Army, there's content that the public can't see, and it comes in regards of that kind of trading, because I'm not doing it anymore like that. So I had to separate, certain things. But yeah, yeah, you have to read between the lines, my friend. You have to read between the lines. But XRP, the technical move on XRP is right around 58 cents. Right around 58 cents here on XRP on the short-term bear flag. If it were to take the top route. Now, the problem is, if it takes the bottom route here, let's see. I mean, you can read between the lines, my friend. Look at the pinned comment that I put in my live. I'm not speaking of it, but Chris, just look what my pinned comment says in my live. It would answer your question. It legit would. What the next direction is. But 49.47 would be the technical drop down from here. And then the technical rise up would be, in current times, it's a little bit higher. It would be about 58.45. So, I mean, that's our choices here. We know we've got that gap that we came close to around 55.5. It was right around 55.8 I was speculating at. How did you know it was going to pinpoint the rise? What do you mean? How did I know it was going to pinpoint the rise? But XRP right now, I like the question. Just can you just give me a tiny bit more info on what you mean? I'm trying to, like, my mind's going a million miles a minute. But XRP right now, we do have to invalidate this bearish cross here. XRP ain't going anywhere till at least 2028. Gotta love your analysis though. I mean, that's exactly what my analysis has said since 2021. It's not doing anything special until between 28 and 32, so I'm not sure what you mean. But, oh, actually, no, I guess we agree with each other. I do know what you mean. You're saying we're going to have a long, stale road here until 28, and we're just going to have to deal with the analysis as we see fit, because it won't mean much. I think that's fair. I do think that's fair. I mean, we see in the last couple of hours, we came down after the drop earlier today, and it looks like it put in some kind of inverse setup. Yeah, oh, absolutely, Chris. It's painful for me sometimes to come on here when I see a lot of other influencers continue to push, you know, that immediate narrative and just the narrative as a whole of where they think we're going to go. Well, I don't even know if they honestly think that's where we're going, but this immediate response that we're supposed to have, we're nowhere near immediate response. Now, there are a few things that work in our favor, like, don't get me wrong. The fact that XRP, if it could somehow pull out of this little bear flag, and it's not going to break bullish, like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, though, that it does have a little bit of upside potential where those fair value gaps were left. I know the top of the gap that is speculated, if you look at the actual algorithm, is like 57.7. Did you listen to the XRP? It wouldn't, like, I even tried to open it again, but now it wants me to pay for an account, and... You know, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just I've been around for a few years and I've seen some pretty interesting things that end up being some pretty interesting scams, right? So, generally, if somebody is sending me something and I've got to pay something before I can even listen to it, that's a red flag to me in the beginning. Not saying it is with you because you did offer to send me a link. But I'm just trying to figure it out to see if it's worth doing that and supporting them. I'm not afraid to pay $2.50 to listen to a song, so that's not the issue here, because I definitely would. I'd actually prefer it instead of just getting a free link. But I want to make sure that it is what it is. It's not by the lack of trying, though, I can assure you of that. But we live in a pretty interesting time here, is all I'm gonna say. Man, we are still stuck here, though. See, this is what gets me here, though. This is what gets... You'll post on YouTube? Excellent. That would be nice. I would share a link to that. I would let my audience know. Or you could just share it in here, too. But look, see this? Even if we're, like, on a head and shoulders, I mean, I could still see it tapping like that. Like, boop. And then even... I just see too much stuff here setting up. So, the short term, like we talked about today... The short term, when I first came in and talked about that 53 cent area, 53.1, that is everything right now. Because as long as 53 cents now were to hold that rotational tug, as long as this pattern doesn't give away, it does seem to give us some credibility here to the fact that maybe something is building here that we're going to have to hit that topside release. That topside release. Now, the only question is, do we get some kind of release of this buildup? Does it have to do this first? Or are we doing this to get the drop down? Then maybe if it wants to come up. Or is this how the bear flag comes through? Because it is still a bear flag till it's not. It is still a bear flag till it's not. It's just the uncertainty of the movement today. The reason why it's got me second guessing if it's going to immediately drop is because with that kind of volatility, it should have fell through. If it was meant to fall through, it really should have fallen through there. It seems to me that that fair value gap isn't letting go. And the trading bots that are in charge of the algorithms, it definitely sees that within its own written algorithm within the move. So I think that's what's going on here. That's why we're getting so much volatility. Say no to QR. I friggin' hate QR codes so much. Oh yes, I hate that garbage so much. Can't even play on my PlayStation 5 anymore without them being, oh, you got a QR code to fucking sign in. And, you know, if you haven't been on in a while, it's something. But yeah, say no to QR codes indeed. But I'm watching this very closely to see if this is one of the weirdest little moments here you're gonna get, but we do have the Ripple Swell event going on 15th and 16th, so that could bring a little bit of opportunity. We've got certain things going on, but if I didn't know any better, my gut's telling me that if this wanted to come through, it very well should have earlier. So we got to watch for a little bit of a distraction. Chris Mess says you'd love WeChat from China. WeChat from, I don't even know what that is. Is this what? Tom, can you explain the fair value gap and how you knew that? That's my own. Here. Instead of me repeating myself again, this is my own. This is what I think of a fair value gap.
Had a chance to buy in at 52.40.
So this is what I told everybody yesterday. So please listen to this so that I don't, and then I'll build on top of it as well.
Now we've got this daily time frame where it looks like a reversal here. I still think we have to fill this FVG gap is what I've been waiting for. It did open the door for a slightly bigger move up though, because
notice the price from here. It's gone. It went up from here and filled almost the first part of the gap I was talking about.
That further consolidation. Well, I mean, it's not like it's a crazy difference, but it could get you up to 58.14. Now, the target that I'm still designating or denoting, I'm still looking at that hit, even if bearish, at 55.94 cents. It's something I've talked about for the better part of, since this bear flag started forming. We had a quick fall. So basically what happens is and you don't have to acknowledge it. It doesn't matter.
And this is the explanation right here, so pay attention.
I'm just giving you some intel. You can use it how you feel. You have trading bots. The trading bots, when they do things, think about people with millions and millions of dollars or 6 figures worth of sale, mostly the millionaires that are buying millions of dollars at a time. They use bots because, and I'm not saying everybody, but there's a lot of people by design that do this. They use the bots because if they put in 1 million at once, the price is going to fluctuate too much, and then they're going to end up hurting themselves. So what they do is they have the trading bots giving portions of it over time. So, hey, I want to buy XRP at 55 cents. Well, there's going to have to be some sells within there. So maybe it'll sell off 10,000 or buy $10,000, then 10,000 sells off, and then 10,000 buys up. And then every time it ends up getting back within the range, it'll rebuy it. Well, when that happens, sometimes you get overzealous buys or sells, and then it ends up going too fast because there's not enough either sells on the order book while you're trying to buy or enough buys on the order book while you're trying to sell. And it'll have over-exaggeration. So you could have an over-drop, you could have an over-rise. But always, it comes back and retests that fair value gap. And in my opinion, that's how a lot of it happens. You get these overzealous drops because of the bots, or you get these overzealous run-ups because of the bots, and then it has to fix itself because it's just an algorithm, the bot. So it ends up having to fill its own gaps. So that's the fair value gap, the FDG, and that's the way I like to explain it. So right now
So that's the way that I see it in my head working out. Now, obviously, there's a vehemently different when it comes to a fair value gap, the definition. But that's what I see. That's what I am seeing. That's how I see the gap happening. So a fair value gaps are price gaps that occur when there's a significant difference between the closing price of one trading and the opening price of the next, with minimal or no trading in between. If you've ever wondered about these sudden gaps in price on a chart and what they mean, you're not alone. So we'll read it. We'll give the audience a little bit of insight since there's been some questions, but I gave you my interpretation of what I think is actually going on within the world of trading and how these gaps tend to show up. So fair value gaps occur when there's a significant price. So what is a fair value gap? A fair value gap is a price gap that occurs when there's a noticeable difference between the closing price of one trading period and the opening price of the next. Essentially, they show moments when the market hasn't had enough time to digest information, leading to abrupt price changes. Understanding the meaning of the fair value gap can be crucial for making informed trading decisions. Here's how to identify a fair value gap on a chart. Let's say that the gap occurs due to a significant upward price movement. The initial price movement. First, you'll see a sharp rise in the closing price of the initial trading period. Gap. If the opening price of the next period is higher than the closing price of the previous period, the chart shows a blank space between the two prices. And then you got, let's see. Next trading period, continuation or correction. Continuation. After the gap, the price may continue in the direction of the gap, indicating strong momentum. Correction. Alternatively, the price may retrace to fill the gap, moving back towards the closing price of the previous price period. So what causes a fair value gap? So economic news and announcements. Major economic events such as interest rate decisions, employment reports, and GDP releases can cause significant market movements. When these announcements occur outside of regular trading hours, they can lead to a fair value gap, and this is in response to the stock market, but it also applies in every market, as I always say. So earnings reports, which we don't deal with crypto, market sentiment, which is big, supply and demand imbalances, which the trading bots can be in big issue when it comes to this exact point. So for example, a large institutional order placed outside of regular trading hours can blah blah blah, the gaps, yada yada, we get it. And a bearish fair value gap occurs when there is a gap between the lowest point of the value of the wick on the first candlestick and the highest point of the wick on the third candlestick. The gap typically forms within the body of the middle candlestick. What is crucial is that a gap has formed within the middle of the candlestick due to the lack of connection between the wicks of the first and third candlestick, indicating potential downside pressure. Bearish fair value gaps are caused by factors such as negative economic news, disappointing earnings reports, or sudden shifts in market sentiment toward pessimism. The bullish fair value gap forms when there is a gap between the highest point of the wick on the first candlestick and the lowest point of the wick on the third candlestick. Similar to the bearish FVG, the exact direction of each candlestick is not the main focus. What matters most is the presence of a gap within the middle candlestick where the wicks of the first and the third candlestick do not meet. This gap signifies potential upward momentum and buying opportunities. Bullish fair value gaps are typically triggered by positive economic news, better than expected earnings reports, and a sudden shift in investor sentiment towards optimism. So the fair value gap in trading. So entry and exit point traders use fair value gaps to identify potential entry points when the gap is expected to be filled. Similarly, exit positions can be set once the gap is closed. So we're looking to fill that gap or close the gap. On this particular case, it'd be to close the gap near 57. I think the ultimate part of the gap to close it completely is 57.7, 57.5, somewhere in there, 57.3, somewhere between 57.3 and 57.7. I can't exactly remember the exact spot. My head's saying 57.7, but my gut's saying 57.3. But anyhow, if it fills that in or closes it, once that gap closes, then all of a sudden that bear flag would play out to the bottom. If that's the case here. If that's what it's trying to trend towards. So we got to see. We got to see, because there's a true area there that usually it doesn't ignore. It usually doesn't ignore. And the short-term one that I was seeing, actually, I think it filled, for all intents and purposes, going up to that 55.5. I think I was a little bit off. Like I said, I kept saying it was like 55.5, 55.8, 55.9. So, but the extent of this is 57.7, I believe. Ricky, Bobby, no problem. I hope this does help. I know I was asked. Hopefully, I was trying to do this in a more, beneficial way than me just trying to explain my own take of it. Share mine and then share the rest. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom Drummond for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Love it. Love it. So the fair value gap. Oh, wait a minute. Risk management. Proper position sizing and stop loss orders are crucial, yada, yada, yada. Practical examples. For instance, if a stock gaps up significantly on positive news, a trader might wait for the price to retrace to fill the gap before entering a long position, anticipating a continuation of the uptrend. So in this case, they missed the initial rise. They see a gap somewhere between where it started and somewhere where it finished, and they're going to wait for that gap to fill in, and then they're going to buy it. The role of the fair value gaps in technical analysis. Fair value gaps play a crucial role in technical analysis by highlighting market inefficiencies and providing traders with actionable insights. Identifying fair value gaps helps traders anticipate price movements. For example, a bullish gap up might retrace to fill the gap before continuing upward, while a bearish gap down might briefly recover to fill the gap before resuming its decline. What have we been talking about, and how do we front run the initial move here? that we had yesterday because of this exact thing. These gaps indicate potential entry and exit points for traders. Fair value gaps also confirm trend strength. In an uptrend, bullish gaps suggest continued upward momentum, while in a downtrend, bearish gaps indicate sustained downward pressure. And then fair value gap and versus the order book. So a fair value gap and an order book serve different functions in trading, but both provide key insights into market movements. A fair value gap represents a price gap between the closing price of one period and the opening price of the next, indicating a temporary market inefficiency. On the other hand, an order book refers to a price zone where large institutional orders, such as those placed by banks or hedge funds, have been executed. If you appreciate what I do here, please make sure to hit that like button. I cannot stress enough, we've been hurting badly in the likes, and it's been hurting the overall output of the channel as far as how many views, because I'm not getting recommended by YouTube right now as often because I'm not getting as many likes on my morning updates, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens. So please make sure to hit that like button while you're watching this live, especially if you appreciate the endless amounts of times and the time, the info, the dedication, and you just appreciate things. Make sure that like button will be recommended, and that means we pop up in the news feed. If I don't pop up in the news feed, we cannot continue to expand this audience. I haven't got many donations as of late, and that's not to be surprised, because look at the market sentiment. The more eyes, the more people. Maybe we can get more members of Tom's Army as well. I help you, you help me in a sense. That's the pay it forward mentality. We pay it forward. And sharing or hitting that like button is the most pay it forward thing you can do. It really, really is. These zones often act as significant support or resistance levels as the price tends to react strongly when revisiting them. While fair value gap trading focuses on gaps that may get filled, order block trading revolves around key price zones where large players have entered the market, offering high probability trading opportunities based on those levels. And if you're trying to trade these gaps, video description below and our pinned comments in the slide. My favorite exchange that I use is BITUNIX. There's a link for you to click on. There's no VPN or KYC worldwide. You can trade XRP in the USA. No excuses. Leverage, that's the easiest exchange to understand leverage, but I encourage you to do spot, but I'm not going to tell you not to do both. You're an adult. There's also BLOFIN on there, and you can read it. There's copy trading opportunities, but we don't discuss it. If you're part of Tom's Army, you'll be able to see those opportunities. Understanding the difference between the fair value gaps and other types of price gaps is crucial. Fair value gaps versus common gaps. Fair value gaps typically indicate, and this is stuff you need to understand, and we all need to understand. I need to understand. Crypto Scrooge, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Love seeing this guy in here. Love it. Love it. And a very trusted mod. Thank you so much, Crypto Scrooge. Along with Rick being in here as well. Love it, Rick. Yes, lurkers, please hit that like button. I'm not even looking to see how many people are in here or how many likes. I'm not going to waste my time, trying to either motivate myself or demotivate myself by looking at the that kind of stuff. But I will just encourage everybody to. And then, maybe at 6:45 I'll look. Maybe at 6:45. Syrian, welcome in. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor, and also being a very, very, very trusted mod. How beautiful of souls we have in here. We have beautiful souls in here. I can't thank you all enough. We really have a beautiful, beautiful community here. So fair value gaps typically indicate potential areas where the market will retrace to fill the gap, reflecting underlying market inefficiencies. Whereas common gaps often occur in non-trending markets and are usually filled quickly without significant trading opportunities. Fair value gaps occur during regular trading and suggest a potential retracement to fill the gap. On the other hand, breakaway gaps happen at the beginning of a new trend, often due to a breakout from a consolidation pattern, and are less likely to be filled immediately. Fair value gaps indicate a temporary market inefficiency that will likely be corrected. However, exhaustion gaps often occur near the end of a significant price move, signaling a potential reversal or the end of the current trend. Trading fair value gaps effectively requires understanding the market context, setting proper risk management and rules, and recognizing when a gap is likely to be filled. Traders often wait for price retracements into the gap to open positions. For bullish gaps, this can mean waiting for a price dip after a gap up to enter a long position. For bearish gaps, traders may look for price retracements upward into the gap before initiating a short position. Some might be watching right now, and you're like, well, what the hell do I care about all of this? We're in these exact kind of gap moments right now, folks. Oh, absolutely, Lonzo was unbelievable back then. Oh, my God, during the blah, blah, blah. Oh, we ate, and we ate good. Holy Toledo. I crave those days again. I just crave them. Fair value gaps have several advantages as well as limitations. Improved market timing, fair value gaps help traders identify optimal entry and exit points. Now, if you are somebody who leaves during this kind of information when the market is doing this exact thing, and you need to recognize what kind of gap we're filling and what an FVG is, you've already answered your own question why you're losing money in this market, or why you think this money you can't, or the market you can't make money in. You've got to educate yourself when the information bites you in the ass. You've got to have the testicular fortitude here, male or female, to know what you're looking at here and understand what you're seeing. You've got to know sometimes when something grabs you by the nuts and it drags you in for a reason, you've got to know why. The squirrels don't do it for no reason. You know? So just understand. Like, there's a higher reason why I'm reading all of this. Trust me, I have better things to do than read this for the 900th time to myself. Potential for higher profits. Effective use of fair value gaps can lead to profitable trading opportunities. Potential for false signals. Not all gaps will be filled, leading to possible false signals. The reliability of fair value gaps can vary depending on market condition. Requires careful risk management to avoid significant losses. New traders often misunderstand or misuse fair value gaps trading strategies. Here are the common mistakes to avoid. See? This is what you need to know. It's not all easy. Not every gap will be retraced, and relying solely on gap fills can lead to significant losses if the price moves further away from the gap. Assuming all gaps will be filled can be deadly. Ignoring the broader market context. Failing to consider factors such as major news events or economic data releases that may cause the gap can result in poor trading decisions. Ignoring the broader market context. Not what smart people do, I suppose, in trading. Entering trades too early. Traders often enter positions before confirming that gap will be filled, which can lead to premature stop-outs or losses. And we all know premature anything is never good. Over-leveraging positions. Overestimating the likelihood of a gap being filled without proper risk management can result in larger than expected losses. Nobody ever wants a bigger loss than they need to sustain. Fair value gaps are price gaps that highlight market inefficiencies and potential trading opportunities. By identifying these gaps, traders can anticipate price movements and can confirm trade or trends, making more informed trading decisions. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you on a fair value gap. The crypto fear and greed index, and I'm glad somebody asked the question so that I could further expand on what a fair value gap is. Right now the greed's at 65. That's brutal. It's brutal. Absolutely, positively brutal. It's brutal. We don't want to see it in greed. Brian, thank you so much for sending the first donation in couple days. Thank you so much for that, my friend. I greatly appreciate that through Cash App. Look at you. See, there's many ways to donate, even if you don't want to do it through YouTube. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. I love it. I love seeing the pay it forward mentality. I know, Senzo. I know. Isn't it unbelievable that the greed could be that high after 2 good days? And we also need to talk about this in a couple minutes. We'll come back to this. Ripple announces partners for its RLUSD stablecoin. And I know a few exchanges already that are part of this. And the shame of this is the one that's a part of it, it's a crock of shit because what Uphold's doing to their customers right now, and I keep trying to warn everybody about Uphold's tactics right now, they're one by one making it impossible for you to trade if you're in the USA. So mark my words. I told everybody before it started the round of, oh, sorry, we can't help you anymore. Oh, sorry, you have to do even deeper identification now. Not just your IDs now on Uphold. They're asking for more and more information. Yeah, I question that now in the USA. So, you know, I cut ties with them fully a few months ago, you know, from doing any kind of business with them. Not even using them as a withdrawal hub. I completely changed that as well. So I have no affiliation with them at all in my personal trading. At all. Zero. And what they're doing to the XRP community it's a tragedy because, you know, there's a lot of people that stood behind Uphold because they actually had XRP for a very long, sustained amount of time. And what ended up happening when they finally had the XRP wallet and everything and all that, they tried to charge an arm and a leg for those same people to use it when they promised to them all along. So then their greed just took over. It's unbelievable. Bro, I just had to make a record to record a video to prove it's me to coin. Yeah, see, that's you gotta when they start doing that, my friend, you get out. That's your first sign that eventually they're gonna keep your funds from you. I'm just telling you right now, my personal experience. XRP Ricky Ripple, thank you so much for that $10 donation. That is incredibly generous. Like, we really do have an unbelievable audience here. An unbelievable audience. Yeah, global exchange support for the RLUSD stablecoin. But there was, yeah, okay, so I wanted to do the partners. We'll talk about in a, here, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just read this right now. Let's see what's going on in the charts real quick, then we'll read that. Yeah, see, I just feel like XRP's not exactly ready to just drop off the cliff right now. There's these gaps that have to be filled. And I feel like a broken record, but I'm telling you, there's these gaps that have to be filled. And it could, I don't see this as those scenarios where it was a fake out gap. It's the way that it's something don't feel right. And it's got that bear flag out there to, you know, to kind of shun the technical trader from even wanting to trade this, because they're like, well, Tom, you know, there's a bear flag out there and I'll be damned if I get caught in that drop. Yes, I understand that, but from here and up, nice trade here somewhere right now even to put in, and hopefully, you know, it does hold. Like, if I was buying this right now, I would have a stop loss at 52.9 cents. And if you're out there and you're taking some gambles out there, please, for the love of God, at least for me, have that stop loss so that you don't get bent over a railing at the end of the day if something bad goes on. Like, that's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. And if, like, you're part of my community, make sure, like, if you're part of Tom's Army, you go into the memberships, right? If you're part of Tom's Army and you pay, you've got extra intel. You've got extra ways to see things. You've got things that most people can't see. You can see, like, even what we did, you know, making profit, that we don't talk about anymore. You know, we don't talk about anymore. Making profit, making profit, making profit, making profit, right? We just don't talk about it anymore. But if you're part of Tom's Army, you can join the venture. There's money to be made even in bear markets. It's just the way to do it and the way to understand it are two different things. You know, there's two different things going on here. A lot of people are starting to back away from XRP right now. So my main focus turned back into the spot, because I've got to lure people in that are going to look at it from the appropriate spot. In the appropriate spot in Tom's Army. You know who I seen? Who did I see it? I just remembered in my head. I seen Cape Cod Kyle. I seen it when I was reading something. It just popped into my head. Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts, not Florida. You're in the house, aren't you, Cape Cod Kyle? And he's been at Tom's Army for many, many months. Today it decided not to show it. But tell me you're in here. Tell me I'm not just imagining I seen your name in here, because I don't think I've seen your name in a little while. But I'm pretty sure I seen Cape Cod Kyle. I know I did. Brad, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you in here as always. Pop and wheelie, I'm putting it in right now. 529 stop loss. I mean, if you want me to be honest, yeah, that's something that I currently, I say it for, you know, we can all understand. I mean, honestly, if you're somebody who's playing this, there's that area that we talked about initially at 56 cents. 58.40 is the technical target, but that FVG is around 5. I would say 5.7. I mean, if I'm being conservative, 5.74. Let's just call it 5.74. I think it's 5.74. I do. I think it's 5.74. Tom's Army's $9.99 a month. Now, let me preface this by saying there is no added benefit to joining Tom's Army. Like, I don't want you joining it just for that. Like, the benefit is that's the pay it forward mindset. But yeah, obviously there's things that people in Tom's Army over the months and over the years, I found ways to get creative, especially as of late after we had just some very bad voodoo when I was doing the public copy trading. So I kind of had to do things a little different. So, no, sir, for Cape Cod. I don't see Cape Cod. I know I seen the name, though. I swear I seen the name. I'm in. Thank you, Tom. I put 75 high, then changed to 74. Hey, there's no problem with that. No problem with that. Now, the reason why I like to talk the stop loss area, because to me, whether you're copy trading, or you're buying a spot position, maybe you bought a spot position here and you're like, well, Tom, how would I know that maybe my spot position, I bought it a little early, and then I could maybe get rid of it and buy it a little lower? Well, first of all, make sure you're on an exchange that's not going to charge you an arm and a leg, like BITUNIX, BLOFIN, on spot. HOTCOIN also in the video description below. Very nice exchange, just leverage is a little tricky at times. But the spot is fantastic. You can do the XRP Bitcoin pairing. It's the only one on the 3 you have that. So I'm trying to give a lot of options so we can do what we need to do in trading purposes. But that 53.13 now, that's a big area. If it breaks that, it's basically telling me that we came up, broke up, and even when we retested here, if it were to break that, this doesn't, after what we did, if we can't hold this, it leads me to believe that we would just come all the way through here now this time. So this is a pretty big moment here for XRP. It really is, because if we could push up here and get back on top of the 20-day, we already have this bullish cross in the hourly that we haven't invalidated yet. Just remember that. 2 hourly, we're trying to work on that right now. We're trying to come up. We needed further support. We came back down to the trend, the actual pattern support, because we were too early. And now it seems like we're slowly building into something, but I'm not naive enough to say, oh, well, here's a guaranteed trade in front of me with this big fucking bear flag and this death cross playing out. So yeah, I know, obviously you can hold it farther if you want. But for me, it's that first sign of disaster. I'm out of this bitch. I'm out of here quicker than, you know, I suppose water on the floor when you come in with the bounty, but it's I'm just seeing a lot of stuff, man. I'm seeing a lot of stuff here. So, but yeah, I would love to see more people in Tom's Army. I would love to see it. I would love to see more people paying it forward, but we're not in the biggest upward momentum right now. We've been stuck, folks. Some of you don't think I just get what I deserve. I think I get exactly what I deserve. I think, you know, the last week I was also sick. I haven't been putting out as much content. Even though I'm still here every day, the content has noticeably been less until yesterday, when we got back to somewhat of a normal schedule after 4 days of being less than stellar. So that's on me. I wasn't doing my job properly. You know what? Sometimes you're not feeling your best, but you can still do your best. Maybe I missed the mark. Ripple gains global exchange support for RLUSD stablecoin release. And this is important. So just the brief. Ripple launched its RLUSD stablecoin, partnering with exchanges like Uphold, Bitstamp, and Bitso to ensure global availability. RLUSD operates on both the XRP ledger and Ethereum. I mean, if you want to stay on Uphold and continue to get your bank account drained, you know, I fear for the ones who have a lot of money, 6 figures on there, and then one day Uphold's going to say, well, you know, we really don't know who you are and we can't give you your money. Don't worry, it's safe in our exchange, but you just can't get it. That's what they sent. I should show you the email. I should show you the email they sent to Julie after I closed mine and she closed hers, and there was like $3 or whatever left on it. You should see what it says. They wouldn't even let her, and they wouldn't let her close her account. They just told her, you're not allowed to use it anymore, basically. It's not a pretty thing. I'm trying to save you all. I really, really am. And I was so far out ahead of so many different exchanges. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't warn you. There's something fishy going on there. RLUSD operates on both the XRP ledger and Ethereum, emphasizing liquidity, compliance, and trusted USD backing. And I'm a little relieved here, too, the last couple days. Like, I think it said, and now I can look, there is 77 people here. We've got the right people here right now. We don't have the 200, 300, 400, like when people come rushing in when we have like a bullish break and we have some bullish momentum. This is the group. Look around you today. These are the people you want to talk to when we start pushing back into that bullish tug. because these people that are watching now understand that you've got to be here in the consolidation point. And when it starts to break out, they're going to be here to understand what the highs and lows were here, and they're going to understand the swing of the charts. These are my people right now. I always tell you I'm more comfortable when they're 75 than 400, because when they're 75, it's 75 of the real ones. I don't have to worry about the rest. When I have to worry about the rest, it's not the same. You're going to see me fall into my track here the next couple days when it's like this. This is what I like. This is what I approach. This is what I actually crave this kind of a setting today. And it's getting harder and harder to have it to where in the beginning 75 people, I'm like, oh my God, I'm killing it. Now I'm like, this is a lower day, but it's the right day. And it sucks kind of. The more people I have that subscribe to my channel, it kind of sucks because you lose a little piece of the smallness. And I'm not a big streamer, and I never want to be a big streamer. And right now we're at 27,500, and we kind of erupted the last couple months, gaining like 4,000 subscribers when we had all this stuff happen in the last 2 months. Now it's slowed down the last week or two, which is great. It was going too fast. But I don't want to lose that smallness. Like, I feel like now I'm going to have to say 30,000 at some point. Like, at first it was like, oh, we have 1,000, we have 5, we have 10, we have 20. Now it's like we have 27,005. It's like, I don't understand. Wow. It's like, that's not, wow. Ripple's RLUSD could rival dominant stablecoins like USDT and USDC, targeting enterprise solutions and regulatory markets. I think that's why I don't say it as much as I used to. I used to say how many subscribers we have with pride. Now I don't say it as a fear, because when I first started, I'd be more likely to watch a channel with 1,000 subscribers knowing that they didn't have an agenda. And then if I seen somebody with 27, I'm like, what the hell are they going to try to sell me next? What do I have to sit through next? Well, fortunately, all of you are watching this live. You realize there hasn't been a single commercial, right? You haven't had to sit through a single publicity stunt, right? That's because of the members of Tom's Army. And anybody who's ever donated, past, present, or future, I do it ad-free during the lives themselves, because I want you to get the entire live, the entire feel. I want us to connect. I really do. I really, really do. And like, the more people I get, the harder I feel like I have to try less, but I don't want to try less, because the more people you have, honestly, it's easier for me to get 1,000 views on a video now. Only so many eyes have to see it compared to before. You know, when I had 10,000 subscribers, I'd get like 400 views. When I had 15,000 subscribers, I'd get like 600 views. 20,000 subscribers, I'd get like 800 views. 25,000 subscribers, I would 1,000 views, you know, per video. Now it's getting to the point where my videos are getting a lot of times 1,500, 2,000. I had one 13,000 last week. Like, you know, I don't know if, or not on this. I had 8,000 on this platform. It was 13,000 on Facebook. Somehow, I don't understand. But like, I don't know. It's something. It's something, and like, it's hard too, because I don't get advertised a lot on YouTube because I don't pay for advertising. And like, that's the small miracle here, that all the word of mouth from all of you have, that's the untold truth. Like, I could not do this without everybody. And it's like, it's becoming to a point where it's like, I looked and I have almost 6 million views on my channel now. It's up to like 5.7 or 5.8 million views. It's like, where did all that come from? Like, where are all these, like, there's a lot of views on my channel. I've made over 5,000 videos now. And it's like, I think today I'm more passionate than I've been in months. You know, I just, it's flowing through me because I see so many people giving up. It invigorates me. It invigorates me. You know, and I couldn't do this without all, I really couldn't. And it's like, I get into these moments in my lives where this is why I have to be live for an hour. Yesterday, I could only do 45 minutes. I was getting through, you know, how I was feeling. And I was just getting myself back, but you could hear yesterday I was still draining pretty good. Today, I feel way better. But I need my hour so that I can go through moments like this. I need to have 15 or 20 minutes where we can connect. I need to have it to where we might have stuff in front of us, but we're not even acknowledging it until we're ready. You know? And we do something different here. I always say we do the positivity over negativity, and there's a reason. Because I know when the dark forces are in front of you. I know when negativity is impeding your every thought. I know when we have a hate-filled community or a hate-filled area, or even if we walk into hate-filled circumstances, we don't do our best. We're fearful. You know, we shield ourselves. So here we do a very different thing. We do positivity over negativity. We are the light, not the darkness. And most of all, we are not a victim here. In a world filled with too many victims for even the wisest of men to acknowledge, we have too many victims. So in a society filled with victims, you have to play the winner. And we're not just playing the winner. You are a winner. I am a winner. We're the winners because we understand market cycles before they happen. We're winners because we understand money is not currency. We're winners because we understand having gold and silver and being our own central bank and front running exactly what's already starting to happen was the way to do it. Now, all of that can give you confidence. All of the responses, all of the continued day after day, week after week, month after month. And I craved, remember in 21, I said, you guys don't know it now, but I'm going to be here every single day. Year in, year out. And some of you are going to be sick of me. You're going to say, take a day off, take a break, shave the beard, shave your hair, cut the hair, do something. You're driving us nuts. But now all of a sudden, you know, March of 2021 is when I started, March 28th. Now we're October 15th, 2024, and I've still never missed a day. Every message I sent in 21, now you can start to believe that maybe I was telling you what I believed, and maybe I was telling you my own truth. And I always used to tell everybody, I'm doing this for historical data only. I've built a lot of friendships along the way. I've built a lot of knowledge I never thought I would have in such a short amount of time, but I still don't know anything yet. That's the crazy part. I still don't know anything. So what does that mean for the rest of you? If I don't know anything, and some of you claim to know it all, or if anybody claims to know it all, we don't know anything. That's the beauty of it. We don't know nothing, so we know everything. You can't know anything to know it all. Just remember that. Just think of all the money. Well, if I'm being honest, I haven't paid for a haircut in over 10 years. Almost 10 years now since I've been with Julie. I've let her solely cut my hair, and, you know, I just let her cut my hair. So, yeah, oh yeah, I'm saving money too, but just imagine all the more money I'm paying on dye, on hair dye, you know? But I've been dyeing my hair since I was basically in high school. Just as I like to dye my hair in different ways, but now it's about probably 40% gray, so it's a good thing I do dye it, my lord. My lord. So let's read the rest of this. Ripple has announced the launch of the stablecoin RLUSD, probably 75% gray now that I've covered XRP every day for over 3.5 years. Let's be honest. Wouldn't be surprised if I'm 100% gray. Covering XRP every day is like getting kicked in the nuts over and over and then dragging it across a fucking cement block after. Or dropping a cement block on it after. Fully exposed. Anyhow. So Ripple has announced the launch of this stablecoin, RLUSD, Ripple USD, along with its global exchange partners, who will facilitate the token's availability worldwide. This launch, alongside key partnerships, marks a major milestone in Ripple's ongoing efforts to expand its offerings. Ripple names exchange partners for its RLUSD stablecoin. So if you're wondering who's going to be part of the initial partners, listen up. The firm named Uphold, Bitstamp, Bitso, MoonPay, Independent Reserve, CoinMania, and Bullish as exchange partners for the USD-denominated stablecoin. With a strong emphasis on regulatory compliance, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said RLUSD could set the standard for stablecoins. With our initial exchange partners, the clear utility and demand for RLUSD and a strong focus. Hey, True, welcome in as well. I did see your name while I was reading. I seen you keep saying your... But True, I appreciate you being here. If anybody has questions, True's a great one in the audience who really does understand the market at a more deeper level. And he always does answer questions. Like, even if they're not asked to him, if he sees them, he will respond. So I always encourage some of you to ask questions. And it's not just me who has insight. There's a lot of people in this audience, in this community, that are really bright people. It's a mind-boggling how many people in here that think like I do, believe like I do, you know, understand things in a similar way as I do. It's like we're breeding the proper response here. We're getting the ones who have a certain standard that they live by, and that's what I like to see. And the standard is integrity. With our initial exchange partners, the clear utility and demand for RLUSD and strong focus on regulatory compliance, Ripple stablecoin is poised to become a gold standard for enterprise-grade stablecoins. Garlinghouse said, XRP GOAT, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. It's okay, my friend. It's okay, my friend. Better late than never. And the beauty of it is you can always go back and watch from the beginning after. But, you know, obviously there's going to be ads when I rerun it. But that's okay. That's okay. The 100 likes. Really? Look at that. That's beautiful. Thank you guys so much as we come towards the end of this. I mean, I basically said my piece in this live. I just want to finish reading this, and then I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. I'll just let you guys go on your way, do what we got to do. Getting closer to shower time for the girls because they have school in the morning and yada, yada, yada. And Julie's going to be doing the feeding at about 7:30, so... And I can feel a sneeze coming. Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin will launch on both XRP, Ledger, and Ethereum blockchain. Ripple began minting RLUSD in late September, positioning it as a compliant. See, I'm going to have to go in too because I can feel my nose starting to run, which means I've been outside about my limit. So, the firm also committed to monthly third-party audited attestations of its reserve assets to ensure transparency. B2C2 and KeyRock will reserve as market makers, supporting RLUSD stablecoin's liquidity and helping promote its adoption across global markets. We'll talk about more about this tomorrow too, but that's what I wanted you guys to see. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you all so much for tuning in this live. I'm going to go. I got to blow my nose, and I think I've hit my limit. And tomorrow we'll try again. We'll try to do better. Remember, as long as we hold 52, it's 53.1, but that, as long as we hold 53 cents, we're okay. We want to start to hold this 53.50 though now, okay? We want to start holding this uptrend. So thank you all. Have a blessed evening, and I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What a privilege it is to have all of you in my